Hey there, good morning everyone. We are coming to you live from the show floor of Cisco Live US 2017 in Las Vegas, and I have got Calvin Rowland here with me in the studio. We get a chance to talk every year. You're Senior VP of Business Development for F5, one of our fantastic and heavily trusted partners here at Cisco. So good to be back with you again.
Great to be here. Happy to be a sponsor yet again.
Love it, love it. Okay, you have been in your current leadership role since 2014, but you have been part of F5's business development organization since 2001.
That's right.
At this point.
That's
so
right.
You're focusing on building revenue-producing alliances with industry-leading technology providers, folks like us here at Cisco, which we're grateful for, Microsoft, IBM, Oracle, SAP, VMware, this nice litany. You've worked in business development and sales capacity for Data Channel, for World Talk, for ResourceNet. You bring this massive wealth of experience to
I
the
feel like
field.
I'm on an episode of This Is Your Life.
I know, it's all you.
Wow.
We're going to bring out beautiful photos of your family and all the people you used to be taught by back when you were a kid. I'm just really glad to have you here because I think this, this conversation that we get to have each year, one of the nice things about it is we don't get just to see where F5 is today. We get to see the expansion of where we've been and where it is that we're going from your standpoint and also from our standpoint here in this partnership. So let's go ahead and start with this great new private cloud package for Cisco that you guys just launched at F5. Very exciting, we were reading about it. Tell us a bit more about it.
We announced it on Monday.
Okay.
And I think it would be helpful just to very quickly revisit what we're doing with ACI very quickly.
Perfect.
So with ACI and F5, what do customers get? They get policy-based automation and orchestration for their application infrastructure for the entire network stack, layer 2 through 7. Layers 4 through 7, that's where we come in. We're the leaders in that space. Now, customers need a solution like this in their quiver because they need a way to satisfy the insatiable appetite that organizations have for more and more applications.
Oh, yeah.
They're not getting any extra people, right? So they need this solution, that's why we put it together, and we've been in market for some time. We've got a lot of customers and we've learned some things. And what we've learned is there's more than one mode that customers want to move forward with for their implementation. In Cisco vernacular, they want to go forward with managed mode, unmanaged mode, and standalone mode. So what we've done is we've taken the most common implementation constructs and we've packaged them. So we actually have more than one private cloud package. We have 3 of them. We've tested, validated and documented in concert with Cisco those implementation constructs. We've layered on top of them professional services, consulting services, and enterprise-grade support. So what we've done is, with the packages, is we've simplified the procurement process, which Cisco likes, but we've also, more importantly, de-risked the implementation as well.
That's so perfect. And how much of this is actually driven from the customer side? You just said it yourself a moment ago, right? You don't have just one type of customer, you don't just have one type of user. They're going to approach this from different needs, different capabilities and different demands, and as more devices continue to come into the field, as more demands pile onto the network, is this a responsive thing or is this a proactive thing?
It's, well, depending on how you look at it, it's both. But the way you're asking the question, it's responsive.
Okay.
Proactively, as a result of customer and market intimacy, you have a thesis. Customers need ACI and F5 put together in a way. And so you go to market. And the invisible hand of the marketplace moves you in different directions. And so as a response to incremental customer intimacy, right?
Sure.
We've learned that we need to tweak our approach, and that's led us to this latest instantiation with the private cloud packages.
Very, very cool.
You want to satisfy what customers are asking for.
Right, exactly, I mean, that's our job, right? At the base, at the core of what it is that we're doing. We've been talking so much about how powerful and important these partnerships, these collaborations are. We talk about it all throughout the week. Chuck certainly always makes sure that we start everything that we do here at a show like this on partnership. Let's talk about the partnership between F5 and Cisco, the solutions integration aspect of it. What role do you really see F5 playing in Cisco's announcement of Tetration Analytics? Let's just use that as an example.
Sure. Okay. Well, the first thing I would say is we're very happy to be what I like to call an anchor tenant in the Tetration ecosystem. So why are we focused on Tetration? Well, it's an example of Cisco and F5 continuing to do something what I just said, practice, market, and customer intimacy. What are other ways we can be extracting and or driving value for our joint customers? So if you look at Big IP, our flagship product, it is the indoor and outdoor in a majority of the data centers around the world for critical application traffic. What does that mean? It means there's a lot of data, application data flowing back and forth through Big IP. And we make traffic management decisions, application traffic management decisions for our customers with that data. That's why they buy the product. But then what happens with the data? It just kind of floats off into the ether. It becomes digital exhaust, right? what if there was a way for us to convert that digital exhaust into what I like to call digital ore that our customers could mine for incremental business value? So how do you do that? That sounds great. How do you do it? Well, you enrich the security policy enforcement capabilities of Tetration by feeding it with analytics that are applied to the layer 4 through 7 application data that I just described. You convert that digital exhaust into digital ore that Tetration is able to mine for that customer benefit. And so this is something that we're really excited about. In fact, we're demoing it at the show today. So if our audience is interested in that, I can't encourage them strongly enough to get to the booth and ask Vincent Ng to show them the demonstration of the Tetration integration.
What an interesting way to frame it. As we continue to talk about Tetration Analytics, and last year we were really talking about a huge amount, this year it's part of an even larger package. What an interesting way to put it though. How do you take all of that data that we're collecting, create greater value out of the nature of the data? We can talk about collecting it more from more and more connected devices and so forth, and being able to use it in its space that we capture it. What a great idea to really make it even more valuable than we ever thought was possible.
Well, it's something F5's been talking about. Dave Schmidt at F5, he runs our office of the CTO. He and I and others have been saying, wouldn't it be great if we could do something with this digital exhaust? It's a pity that we're just letting it evaporate into the air. Tetration puts us in a position to do exactly just that.
That's really, really strong thinking. We're hearing a ton about DevOps these days. What role do F5 and Cisco play in DevOps, and what are you personally getting really, really excited about of what you're hearing in that development arena?
Okay. We have an important role to play.
Yes.
You're probably looking for more than that.
Well, I'd love for you to go as deep as you're willing to dive on.
So here's what I would say. DevOps, let's look at it as a phenomenon.
Okay.
Why are people excited about it? Well, if you could take the process of application instrumentation and iteration and put it in the hands of the very people that are responsible for the ideation that is application creation and implementation, you would do that. It's more efficient. You know, get right to the source. Tools exist now to make that happen, and that's why DevOps is happening, and it is happening at pace. But the network has a role to play. And if it doesn't play its role, we, F5 and Cisco, gate the full faith and credit that is the DevOps value proposition. So it's our job to reach out and pull the NetOps persona into the DevOps tent. Right, to make sure that the application infrastructure becomes part of the DevOps thinking and process. Or say another way, spread the boundary of the DevOps tent out to envelop the NetOps persona. And so you're going to see us working with the likes of Ansible, with Puppet, two strategic partners for both Cisco and F5 to make that happen. And what I would tell our audience, if they're interested in DevOps and they're curious about the question, gosh, what does the NetOps persona, what is its role to play in a DevOps world? I would highly recommend that they become devoted readers of Lori McVitie at F5. She's been an application and network architect for years. She's an industry luminary. More importantly, she makes content and concepts like this really accessible because she's a fantastic writer. So I want to put a plug in for Lori.
An interesting way to think about it of combining the two things. We talk all the time about the changing nature of the industry. We can't rely on the network that we have been relying on for the past 20 years.
No.
It's not going to happen.
No.
It's got to be a restructuring issue, but the idea that DevOps is going to count on that restructuring to be able to expand out into its full capability and potential, it's a very exciting way to look at it.
It is, and the reason that F5 specifically is excited about it is it puts us in a position to get in front of even more application infrastructures than we otherwise would. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins,
Everybody
absolutely.
wins.
If we look at this now from the customer angle, right? There's so many different areas of engagement that joint customers between F5 and Cisco are looking forward to that they're really keeping an eye out for. What do you see customers coming to you and getting very, very excited about in the near future?
Okay, a couple of other things that we haven't talked about quickly. One is we put a lot of effort in working with Cisco to certify our services as VNFs on the Cisco CSP platform, specifically the CSP 2100 platform. So that's something that is new. People can learn about that at the booth or on f5.com. Another thing that is related to that but unique unto itself is we're new members of the NFVI ecosystem with an initial focus on service provider, given that industry's focus on NFV as a construct. That's good for us. Deploying our services as software is fantastic for us because again, it puts us in front of more application infrastructure. So an initial focus on service provider, but also soon on enterprise as well. So those are two new things, but I would encourage our audience to keep their eye on ACI and Tetration, because there's evolution of consequence that's coming on those fronts as well.
And
don't take their eye off that ball.
Yeah, we're hearing so much about that in the Innovation Showcase here throughout the year that it's just been such a big focus. Let's talk about some calls to action, right? What are the next steps? People are, maybe they're here at the show, they're coming to visit you guys in the F5 booth, which has just been packed with humanity. The entire week has been really exciting every time that I walk by and I see it. If people either are here at the show or if they didn't get an opportunity to come to the show, what are the next steps from here? What do they need to be doing?
First and foremost, continue to put us under pressure. You know, we've announced the private cloud packages for SCI and F5. We think we've hit a home run. Engage us vigorously to make sure that we've got what they need, and if not, help us continue to evolve it. We innovate with our customers. The same thing with Tetration. We've got the version 1.0 integration out in the market, same thing. Work with us to continue to iterate that on their behalf. Just continue to engage us and put us under pressure. That's what we're here for.
I love that you guys want that you're actually inviting it. All right, if people aren't here, where can they go to learn some more? Let's just say it.
F5.com.
F5.com.
www.f5.com, it's all there.
Can't make it any easier than that.
That's the point.
Kelvin, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you as it is
Always.
every single year.
See you in a year.
Really appreciate it. Thanks all of you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the show.